Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Good evening, fellow football fans. How are we doing? Yes, I'm back twice in a night. I never thought I'd hear myself saying that. Nor did the ex-missus, which is probably why she's now an ex-missus. But yes, second time back today. If you missed it earlier, go on to Leicester Till I Die TV YouTube channel. Catch it out. I'm interviewing Dave Bartram, the lead singer of Show Waddy Waddy. Yeah, it wasn't all glamour, apparently. But, hey, I can't say too much. You've got to watch the video. This is Leicester Till I Die TV. We are live on YouTube, which is that one there, Leicester Till I Die TV. If you are on there, press a button. You know I like my buttons to be pressed. On this side, we've got Facebook, Leicester Till I Die, the group. And if you live in the Twitter sphere, it's at Leicester TID. We're not missing football because we've got plenty. And it's the semi-finals this week. Oh.
It's the Euros 2020 with Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV.
Oh, it so is. And I'll tell you what, there is nothing like a midweek semi. Isn't there, Dan?
Nothing beats it. Nothing beats it. Yeah. Honestly, it breaks up the working week. Put it that way.
Doesn't it just? And I had to say that to you because I couldn't say it to my second guest. We'll welcome her in if I press the right button. If she's not left, Maisie. Hello, Maisie.
Hi, you okay?
Yeah, I won't ask you that. I promise you. You know. Oh, actually, Dan's the way I've got my graphics, Dan's eyes just fit very nicely.
It's all right. I'll sort of come back a bit.
Well, one eye is the England flag, one is the Denmark flag. You know,
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, bit of a.
I'm impartial.
Suits you, doesn't it, Maisie? You know?
Yeah, the flags look like your eyes. So, like where your eyes were, the flags were there. Love it.
God, if I'd known that, I'd have got a bigger one to cover his face. Dan, good evening. Thanks for joining us. Give a shout out to your channels.
So, cheers for having me on. First of all, Chris, thanks a lot. It's always a laugh and a blast when come on here. But yeah, I've just had a bit of a revamp. Updated the logo from a big giant M to one that looks a bit more presentable. But yeah, it's at Turf-Moore House on all platforms, on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and now on Spotify.
Oh, I live that with you, mate. I live that with you. I'm glad. I'm going to go and listen to one later. You know, it makes a change. I actually listen to myself on Spotify. It's the only way I can get to sleep at night. You know, Maisie, give your Twitter handle out if you want to, but do you have a channel at all?
No, I've not got a channel at all, but my Twitter account is at @2_MUFC Mais.
Please get that right, because it took me ages to to try and find it.
I had to end up finding you.
I know. Well,
No, I think we follow each other, Maisie. I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
So somebody's good. Don't follow him too far. Remember, it's Burnley, But it's the northern invasion tonight with Burnley and Manchester, isn't it? But hey, it's the Euros. It's not about football teams, which we're probably glad about. We're going to talk semi-finals, and the first one, Italy and Spain. Now, Italy that's tomorrow night at 8:00. Italy are 29-20 to win the tournament. Spain are 2-1. A bit tight, but Dan, favourites Italy, would you say?
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. I think they've obviously, you look at the record of what they've got. I think they're unbeaten in at least, I think it's something like 20 odd games now. In all international competitions, it's absolutely mental. But obviously, Mancini's doing something good there with them, bringing in Viala after all his problems might have been a bit of a spur for the bit of like a cheer on the team sort of thing from behind. It's a bit more tactical knowledge as well, which you can't be sniffed at. So yeah, definite favourites. I was surprised at the odds of Spain being at 2-1.
Yes, yeah. What about you, Maisie? What do you think of those odds?
I thought, well, it's definitely correct about Italy. They've been by far the favourites in this whole competition. They've been honestly outstanding team, just such a pleasure to watch. But to be honest, in terms of the Spain game, I was probably expecting the odds to be a little bit higher, knowing at the choice that they played against Italy. So I was expecting maybe 5-1 or something, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean the 2-1. Sorry, the 2-1 is to win the tournament outright.
Yeah, to win. Yeah, because you wouldn't really expect Spain to win against Italy. So I wouldn't have really. If I was predicting right now, I wouldn't have honestly thought Spain is going to win against them. To be honest.
Well, these were the odds last night on Poddy Power. Honestly, this is only Coke. Honestly, on Paddy Power as of last night. Other betting sites are available. And remember, guys, when the fun stops, stop. But I suppose, they had the one good result, Spain, didn't they? Now, whether they've done it on that, the 5-0, because that was quite an outstanding game, Dan.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, they like us, aren't they? Italy, they've not conceded many, have they? I think they've conceded one.
They conceded one in the group stage. Well, I'll tell you what, let's have a look, because by the powers of modern technology, there we go. That's Spain for you.
Yeah.
So they drew with Sweden, drew 1-1 with Poland. Yeah, they got Switzerland. So they've got. Oh no, Croatia got 3 against them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing is with Spain though. You look at that game. That Croatia-Spain game was vital for them in the group at that time. Yeah. Obviously, they beat Slovakia 5-0, fair enough. But they knew they had to play. They had to beat Croatia and play to their full strength. And they did it to quite a rapport, really. I mean, it were probably one of the most entertaining games of the tournament. At that point, obviously, we could say now that there's been other games. Nobody expected us to beat Ukraine 4-0. To be fair, not with the way we've sort of been setting up in games, but I don't think you could ever rule out Spain, though, can you? I mean, they are sort of they are the underdogs, really. Everyone's sort of talking about Italy and the fact that they're the favourites. We back here on English soil are saying it's coming home. Spain are sort of sneaking through the back door. And who knows what they could do against Italy. But for me at the moment, who cares about Italy or Spain? We'll see you a little bit later.
Just make sure your back door is shut and tight, Dan. 3-1 to win the game, Maisie. I mean, Spain, like a lot of the 4 that are left here, started slowly, but have done what I always say Germany do. They've got better as the tournament's gone on.
Yeah, definitely. They have definitely gone miles better because draw. Because the Sweden game and the Poland game, you'd expect them really to just bury that game, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then you've got Slovakia and they're like, right, that's it. We need to win this game to get through to the next round. And I think that little bit of momentum, getting that 5-0 win, it's really helped them in the round against Croatia. And then even Switzerland as well. They've really helped them as well, winning on penalties.
Yeah. I mean, I thought they were out against Croatia, Dan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. I thought on the basis of the game, the way Croatia fought back, I thought, how are Spain going to get back to the level they started with? And it was really difficult. But then, I don't know, sometimes you just need a spark. All it can take is one player from the bench. It's madness. International football has been absolutely mad.
Maisie, I mean, that 3-1 win over Switzerland on penalties, I thought Switzerland were unlucky, but what a goddamn awful penalty shootout. I mean, we think ours are bad as England, but I mean, if we get to play Spain, I hope it goes to penalties.
Honestly, I think, like, my weakest foot could do a better penalty shootout than that. What I witnessed, it was the worst penalty shootout I've ever watched in my life. So many saves. You know what?
Yes.
The only penalty shootout, what I'd say, is on level with that was probably Uruguay from the other day, because that was another terrible penalty shootout as well.
I didn't see that. Was that bad?
Yeah, that was bad. You'd expect Uruguay to buried that penalty shootout, but they missed. I think it was only Suarez and Cavani who shot and scored, and the rest of them they missed. I thought, what's going on here? Just wouldn't even expect it.
No. Andrew's just asking there, what are thoughts? Dan's thoughts on Albrighton to Burnley. Andrew, if you go on to my YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV, there's a whole half hour on Dan's thoughts about Albrighton going to Burnley, putting the red carpet out, because obviously it's nice for them to have a good player. But
and he's under 35, which would be the first one.
Only just. He comes with his own wheelchair. Anything there, Maisie, that you're looking at, that if Spain get to the final and we get to the final, anything there that you think that we should be worried about that scares you?
In my opinion, no. Nothing really scares me about Spain. For Spain, they're a good team, don't get me wrong, but you can't put them as the best ever Spain team, knowing all the other Spain teams you've seen in the past. This the defence isn't really up to scratch, is it really? In my opinion, they've got Morata on the team who can't even score for Toffee. So,
Mate, Werner look good, doesn't he? I'm not sure what you mean here, Rich. Does my channel do that? It's on quite late. I'm not. Are you on about the Copa America? I'm not sure what you're on about. Explain a little bit more there. Dan, would you agree with that? Nothing to worry about with Spain if we get them?
Yeah, I would. I would and I wouldn't, which is a strange one. I would, because I totally agree with everything that
response that.
Proper sitting on the fence. No, I agree with everything that Maisie said, but it's when you look back at that and you don't know what sort of Spain's going to turn up. You don't know whether you're going to get that Spain that's going to be, it's going to be a close game, where it's going to end up a draw, or whether they're going to just pull out all the stops and try and, get a high-scoring game against you. Yeah. The thing is, though, you look at that Spain squad and it's there for the taking, really.
Yes.
It's still quite youthful. It's not really gelled properly yet because of, lack of, game time or things like that. But the players that are there, you've got some big hitters missing. It's a bit like Germany, as we said. Germany haven't got the team of old anymore. So it's tomato, but I think Spain, knowing that they're here at a semi-final, will really go for it.
Yeah. The one-off games as well. This is what we've always got to remember, isn't it? It's like Leicester playing Man United in the FA Cup. One-off game, anybody can win. Oh, it was Leicester, wasn't it? Sorry, Maisie.
Only you can get that little dig in.
I know. I was really pleased. I can get, honestly, I could be talking about anything and I can get Leicester into the conversation. Believe you me. So Spain was 3-1 to win the game, Maisie. 21-10. I love some of these odds sometimes for Italy. They're going into it favourites. There were my dark horses at the start. If we are going to beat them, we're going to have to be on top form, aren't we? I mean, look at that,
Mm-hmm.
Win, 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 win.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely incredible, isn't it? I completely agree with that. With me, Italy was also my dark horses. I think I kind of underestimated them in a way, because you think, well, they didn't play in the World Cup, did they? And then you think, are they ready for another international tournament? And I think that's maybe where I kind of ruled them out a little bit. But I also thought, you've got Mancini there, who is honestly a really good player, a really good manager. They're honestly, when I watch Spain, Italy, they're just so beautiful, the football. Like, it's such an enjoyable football. And even when you're not even an Italy fan, you just enjoy watching them, don't you? The overall team works so well together. They're so good in defence, so good in the middle, so good up front. I can't even fault the team whatsoever. And to be honest, if we get them in the final, I would be honestly shitting myself. That is honestly, to God, my truth.
If there's any children watching, she means pooing a nappy. Slightly before the watershed. I'm going to have that thought now with me for the whole evening, Maisie. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I mean, in that first game, my one of my abiding memories of the tournament will be, Dan, Alan Shearer, just before Turkey kicked off against Italy, saying Turkey was his dark horse for the tournament. And then Italy just went out and blew them aside. Austria were unlucky, though. Austria did take them to the wire. That was probably the one time I think they looked vulnerable.
Yeah. Going back to what Maisie said as well, following on from everything.
Not about the pants, I hope.
No, definitely not. Definitely not about the pants. Definitely not about the pants. But yeah, it's the way they've set up. It's not even like they'll grab a goal or two and sort of sit on that. They'll keep trying to hurt you and hurt you and hurt you, and they'll try and find every single way possible. You do see teams that sort of go 1 or 2 up and then sort of sit on it, relax, and then invite the pressure, but sometimes it bites you in the arse. But yeah, them scorelines speak for themselves, don't they? They're not.
Yes.
It's a team that digs deep, fights till the death, doesn't give up. But I don't know whether I've said it on your channel before, but I always said before this tournament, and I agree with you too, Italy were my dark horses. I don't know where people were thinking Turkey from, or North Macedonia if Brad's watching. And but yeah, I've always said that this year I feel we'll go one better than the semis. We'll go to the final, but we'll lose.
Yeah, one better than the semis is only the final,
Yeah. So I just think we'll lose it, though. I think we'll lose it if we do get to it. But I don't want that. I don't want to bring that negativity in here. But that's what I said before that. I'm still sat at home now. My front room's decorated in England flags, and they're not coming down till we've won it.
What sort of sad person decorates the room with the football club or anyway, let's forget that. Don't look behind me. Nothing to see.
It's a green screen, Chris. It's a green screen. We know you've got a big pink paradise behind that.
Shush. Hey, it's Thomas the Tank Engine wallpaper. Let's not go there. I feel I should explain to Maisie. I mean, Brad, don't you, Maisie, who's one of the co-presenters on here. And if you look back at, I think it was the first show we did for the Euros, which was the prediction show, he came out and had a full North Macedonia rant. And in fact, I think it's up on the channel, Leicester Till I Die TV. I think as a standalone video, just to embarrass him. But he had North Macedonia down to win it. But I mean, let's be honest with you. I mean, Wales, they're amazing. I mean, Italy managed to put one past them. And sorry if you're watching, Rich, but yeah, I've got to take the piss out of Wales. It's a shame. And Scotland will come along later, don't you worry. But I mean, Italy were through by then. It was like a practice game for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had nothing to worry about at all, really, didn't they? They just did that 1-0 lead. It was just like that little bit of a cherry on the top, like, yeah, we're the best in this group. You're not putting no goals past us. But to be honest, you do kind of feel a little bit sorry for Wales in a way, don't you? Because, well, you do. With, like, you've got, like, obviously England, they played most of the games at Wembley, and like how much Wales has travelled all around Europe playing the games. It's, but to be honest, you can't feel sorry for all the misses they had, like that absolute sitter off Gareth Bale. I'm sure that was against Italy.
Yeah.
You can't feel sorry for that. It was just absolutely awful.
If he'd have been playing golf, it'd have gone in the hole, that one would have done, wouldn't it? And I didn't realise, but it is a good point, Maisie. Spain have actually played, I think, 3 of their 5 games at Seville, so they've been at home. But I suppose it's a weird one, this one, because even before COVID, Dan, they were playing, or they decided to play the tournament like this all over Europe. But if it wasn't, and like the next one goes back to sort of just playing paid in Germany, somebody always does get home advantage. So, it's England's had it, and I'm not complaining.
No. I mean, the only game that people thought were a bit dodgy was obviously the one in Baku. But luckily, we've been to Rome. We've flown home, and it's coming home. So
but remember what they say: don't look Baku in anger. Thank you. I'm here all week, guys. Maisie, I mean, don't start me. The Belgium Italy game. I kind of, excuse me. Although Italy were my dark horses, of course, Belgium have got such a big Leicester contingent that I wanted Belgium to do well. But once Italy have got that lead, they can hold on to a lead, can't they? They can defend it.
Yeah, so I'm guessing you wanted Belgium to win because of Tielemans, I'm guessing. But
well, maybe. Yeah.
To be honest, I had a really bad gut feeling since the World Cup 2018. That's it. Belgium is going to win the Euros. I just had that feeling in there for years, thinking Belgium going to win this. Because, like, even though, the defence is a bit aging, isn't it? They've got such, amazing attacking players, like Lukaku, De Bruyne, both the Hazard brothers, Tielemans. And when you watched in the Italy game, to be honest, you was kind of expecting a little bit more of Belgium, really. But Italy shut them up, and I couldn't really see many teams doing that against Belgium, to be honest.
No, and you can understand as well, like, as you said, for a few years now you've had bad guts, which is clearly why you keep shitting yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly why. But at least I know that that's not going to happen no longer.
No, that's true.
If I'd known you two were like this, I'd have had one of them buzzers on here so I could buzz everything. But I'm having to go for Italy for this one. Maisie, Italy or Spain?
Italy, 100%.
And Dan?
Spain 1-0.
Really? Oh, controversial there.
I like that.
Yeah, he's saying that because he's used to 1-0s following Burnley, isn't he?
Yeah, they like to play a bit of what can we say?
Definitely not je ne sais
just
quoi.
like the 1-0 lead, and then just like the 1-0, and that's it. But
they're like Italy, really, aren't they? They 1-0 up. Hi, Nippon. Thanks for popping on, Nippon. He's like a roving reporter for our YouTube channels, isn't he? You get Nippon, and which train are you on? I just wonder sometimes, he's got to come to the end of the line at some point. I don't know if you've seen him at all, Maisie, but he does these, and it's great. He's on these trains. People must look at him and think, who are you talking to? But he is sponsored by Transport for London, so well done, Nippon. Nice to have you on, mate. I've just got to say this because it's just breaking news. My phone went then. like I say, this is Maisie is going to go, who the hell are they? But like I said before, Lee Singer, Dave Bartimer show, Waddy Waddy, did a 1-to-1 earlier with him. That's on the channel now. Leicester Till I Die TV. Get on and watch it. It's proved very popular. Next week, I'm going to be doing Alan Smith, ex-Leicester, and he's spent a bit of his time at Arsenal as well. And of course, for those FIFA fans, my son doesn't remember him as a footballer, but he knows him as the voice of FIFA. And of course, Sky Sports. We're doing a 1-to-1 with him next week. So looking forward to that. Well,
nice one, Chris.
Thank you, sir. That is really like just the vegetable getting ready for the meat, really, isn't it? Because the big
Are you the vegetable, Chris? Are you the vegetable?
I'm the meat and 2 vegetables, I'll have you know. You knock them over, mate. I'll chip them in.
Said Gareth Bale to Sambo.
Or not as the case, maybe. Wednesday night, 8 p.m. I think they're going to have to turn up the national grid for this one. Semi-final, England at home again against Denmark. 4-6, England to win the tournament. Again, we're talking British bookmakers here, so we're bound to be favourites. Denmark 4-1. It's a big game. It is a big game, isn't it? And Maisie, England there, 7-5 to win the game. We have got better, like I was saying earlier, as a team. We've got better as we've gone through.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, though, I have been really impressed with England. The fact that we've kept a clean sheet every single game, that alone is just an amazing achievement. Because I feel like, especially with the England in the past, we've kind of like struggled in terms of clean sheets, getting them goals, not getting conceded. So that alone is just a big step up, and you can tell the Maguire and Stones partnership works really well, and it works well with Pickford. When you got that triangle, what works well, it helps the entire game full stop, because you've got then the full-backs can go a bit forward, start attacking a little bit, unless, of course, the counter-attack happens. It does really help, and I've been really impressed with England, and you can tell just from there, getting much better and better, because our attack is getting a much better, well, our attack's world class anyway, but our attack's just getting better and better every single game, isn't it? More players are going forward. You've got quite a few leaders in the England squad, and that really helps for the younger players like Saka, Foden, Mount. It really helps them too.
It does, and I'm not going to clip this, and nobody clip this if you're watching it, but I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but Luke Shaw was my man of the match against the Ukraine. I mean, he has come through, and this will stick in my throat, so if I do choke on this, even Harry Maguire's playing well, isn't he, at the moment? And, God. Oh, excuse me. That did stick there. But no, in fairness to them, I mean, we know it's international football. Players we hate week in, week out. We love when it comes to international football. But what was, Mourinho, he didn't used to like Luke Shaw. But, I mean, on that performance against the Ukraine, Chilwell's not going to get that position back.
No chance. Not at all. I mean, Chilwell, obviously, unfortunately, the COVID situation and what have you and everything else, let it be what it be. At the end of the day, it's been a godsend. Luke Shaw's come in and been an absolute star. I mean, even prior to Luke Shaw's ball in for, I think it was, I can't remember which goal it were, but Sterling sort of, played it behind him. And Shaw's just put an inch perfect crossing for it. Was for Kane's header, weren't it? Yeah. So yeah, he were outstanding for me, and Raheem Sterling's impressed me in this tournament. Even Jordan Pickford, prior to this tournament, taking it back to a club perspective, I thought this is the best opportunity Pope's going to get to showcase himself on the international stage. And obviously, he's had everything. He's had his problems, had a bit of an operation done. Obviously, that's been forefront of his mind, his health, which as you'd expect. Yeah. So, but Pickford, wow, for somebody that literally the country was dogging week in, week out.
Yeah.
And has now literally just become a national hero. Everybody's watching him. even when it's going out of play, the ball when Sterling played it in for Muller afterwards, he's getting at him, he's telling him, you need to do this, you need to do that. And it goes back to what Maisie said. It shows that we've got leaders all over the park. They might not be wearing that band on their arm. They might not have that big captain's armband. But at the end of the day, they're all leaders out there, and they're all out there to reach the final goal.
Indeed, totally. I mean, Maisie, it's Dan made the point there. I mean, Kane was being pilloried, 2 or 3 games ago. Suddenly he's got full. But I've had enough humble pie this season with me saying how bad Inacho was, and then he's coming good, and that's why I'm as big as I am, because of all the humble pie I was eating. But Sterling, I remember I sat there on that first game, and I do not like Sterling for England. What he does for Man City, great. It just didn't seem to happen for him. But when he got that first goal, he's been on fire since, and I didn't realise he's got a great record for England.
Yeah, 100% there. I was probably like everybody else who supports England. Seeing that lineup against Croatia, I was like, wait a minute here. What is Sterling doing here when we have got Rashford on the bench? We've got Sancho who could play on the left. We've got Saka there as well. We've got Grealish who could play on the left. Why is Sterling playing? And I was just like so fuming about it. I was, he's just honestly, he's made me change my mind about him playing for England. I'm not gonna say he's the best player in the world or anything at all, because he's not, but he has really impressed me in competition, and he's probably one of the best players for England, and hasn't he really? Getting them goals, getting them assists. He's really been helping out Harry Kane. He's given his 100% all every single game, and I can't even knock him for that one bit. For me, Sterling has to be up there as my player of the tournament, and then Pickford will have to be up there as well. They're the 2 people who I think have got to be my player of the tournament.
What can I say? You've told us. There we go. Were you listening, Alan Shearer? Maisie has spoken. What I mean, you look at that, Dan, and Scotland. I think Scotland is still celebrating the fact that they got a draw. I mean, there was nothing. We celebrate a win, they celebrate a draw, and it was great to sort of, when you saw all the celebrations. No, not been awful, Scotland, but I don't like you. I'm not going to lie. It was nice to see you go home. Why should we love Scotland? I say we should build Hadrian's Wall and get them to build it. But hey, Trump tried it. I'm going to try it. But Dan, I mean, that was our worst game so far.
Yeah, it was. And I think it was more of a playing the occasion rather than playing the game. I think it was hyped up massively. And it got to a point where people were expecting England to go out there and absolutely throw on this masterclass, just, absolutely pummel Scotland and give them a really good beating. And as I say, it got to the point where it was more the occasion. You could see the videos in build-ups to the game. Fans sort of just bantering with each other. You've seen that with all the other games, but it's sort of not been as much as it was for that England-Scotland game. It was the talk of, the Gaza against Colin Hendry goal, the dentist chair, everything were coming out. Everything. I'm surprised even Gary Lineker, rubbing his arse against the grass didn't get spoken about. But
was that not Maisie shitting herself again?
Basically, it was me in disguise, but I just wanted to go on the pitch and feel like a football player.
Of all people, you chose Gary Lineker.
Yeah, because I thought maybe one day I might become a commentator and advertise for Walker's Crisp.
Be careful where you go here. Remember, he's an ex-schoolmate of mine.
Oh, is that so?
It is, yeah, and it was the right little. Anyway, let's not go down that road. But suddenly it started to come well, Maisie. I mean, the Germany game, 55 years we've waited for that.
Mm-hmm.
worth it, wasn't it?
Worth every single moment of it, to be honest. I was there feeling so scared against Germany because we haven't got a good record with them, let's just be honest. And apart from the World Cup, I can't even name another time we even won against them in the tournament. I don't think we have in tournament wise, but we gave it our all. We had amazing players out there, and do you know what really did make that difference? Grealish coming on as a sub, that really made the difference overall. He's just such an amazing player, Grealish, and if a top 6 team do not snatch him up this transfer window, I would be honestly so surprised. He does deserve to be in a really good team. I'm not saying Aston Villa rubbish or anything, because they did play well last season, but he deserves much better than Aston Villa, to be fair, let's just be honest.
Yes, it's any team in claret and blue, really. Oh, sorry, Dan.
Oh, here we go.
And then that was followed down. I mean, did you see the 4-0 coming?
No, not at all. In fact, I think I remember speaking on when you came on my channel and we were talking about how this is probably the tougher test than the Germany game.
Yeah,
because it was sort of Ukraine went into this. I don't know. You know, the way the game before, and I think they had Sweden, didn't they, before us? Yeah. And then, you know, I think they had a couple of knocks, a few players that were playing at 50%, 70% at best. I just didn't see that scoreline coming at all. I didn't see us being... I did say, in fact, I do remember saying that in this game, if we are to get anything from it, we need to grip the game by the balls, basically, and hit them early, get in early, and then sort of see where we go on from there. Because the longer the game went on, the longer we would have struggled, and Ukraine would have grown into that. And you know, 3.5 minutes, was it, something like that? And then Kane's put first goal in, and you're just like, what? Like a lot of people are still trying to, open a can because the flaming bit the nails prior to kickoff. You know, it was that early that everyone was just sort of sitting down. We did think it was
going to be a long 87 minutes, didn't we?
Oh, massively. But we did it again the second half. We came out again and got a goal straight away. And it was just one of those performances where you knew, even in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes, when it was just passing it around, all fans going, wee, with every pass. Yeah. You weren't even harsh. You were sat there and you were enjoying yourself. It was just that feeling of, that's it. We're off to the semis now. But I know we'll touch on obviously Denmark, but I think this now is going to be I would definitely have preferred to have played the Czechs.
Yes, I think they said on commentary that if Gareth Southgate couldn't enjoy that game, then he'll never enjoy a game at all. It was we did dominate, and that does lead me on to Gareth Southgate, because I did a show a few weeks ago, and I spoke to you about it before, Dan, about Southgate in or out, and I've always been or shake it all about, whichever you prefer. I've always been a Southgate in, because at the end of the day, look what he's done for us. And Maisie, with Gareth Southgate, we haven't lost a game in this tournament. We haven't conceded a goal in this tournament, which is one of the first times we've ever done that, and his team's done that. He got us through to 4th place in the World Cup final, 3rd place in the Nations League. He's won a penalty shootout for the first time in the World Cup finals. He's beaten Germany for the first time in 55 years. He can't do anything else, can he?
Exactly. I completely agree with you there. Gareth Southgate, for me, has been an outstanding manager for England. He's honestly hit every single expectation and more for us. Yes. You may think the odd time, why are you putting that lineup up? That's just a terrible lineup. But he's doing it because it's best for us, it's best for the team, and the best way to beat the opponent. I can't even give any more praise to Gareth Southgate at this point. For me, I don't know why people even want him out at this point. I'm honestly so happy with him, and you just get people saying, even if we win the Euros, Gareth Southgate needs to go. Well, why does he need to go? What's your backup reason for why Gareth Southgate should go if we win the Euros for the first time ever? It's absolutely unbelievable how some people still want Gareth Southgate out. Honestly, he's just a hero to me as well. Never mind the England squad, he's the bloody hero.
Yeah, and he'll get another pizza advert out of it, of course. But Dan, it's we're all fans, and we all do that with our own. I'm sure Maisie does it with Ollie. You do it with Sean. I do it with Brendan. We sit there, and we look sometimes at the teams they pick, and we think, "What the hell have you done?" And this is just for a league game, we win the game. You think, hey, tactically, he's always got it up here, isn't it? We're so fickle as football fans, and he picked a really bad squad. People were saying at the start, and then his team selection, he's playing the wrong person at left back, but his decisions have been, apart from say the Scotland game, but his decisions have been justified. Grealish, to me, works better when he comes on as an impact sub when the opposition's knackered. He hasn't done. He's got everything spot on.
Yeah, he has, and it goes back. I take it back to that England-Germany game. We saw the lineup there and thought, "Wow, that's sort of defensive." So when Grealish came on towards the end and it just completely changed the game, it was just like, where's this come from? Like I will hold my hand up now and say I have questioned Gareth Southgate many times, going, "You FA yes man, blah blah blah," and I have done. I've done it numerous times. I'm not going to skirt around the bullshit, to be honest. I have. But in this tournament, what he has done is just beyond something else. People could say, "Oh yeah, but with the talent that is currently out there at the moment, Allardyce could have done the same thing. Sven and Capello would have done the same." No, I don't think they would have done. I really don't think they would have done.
Don't knock Allardyce. Remember he's got a 100% record.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. That is true.
Yes, don't be knocking the Big Sam. Scott says there, what's Southgate's record against Denmark? I think it's 0 because he's never played them, Scott. I don't think.
Yeah, I know England's record is something like 1-11, lost 4 or something like that against Denmark.
Yeah, at least it's not Norway because you guys are too young. But when they beat us once in a tournament, I think that we had to listen to Maggie Thatcher and all. They reeled off all these names. You'll have to Google it. But Maisie, I'm a bit torn here. We're going to come on to Denmark in a second, but Kasper's in goal for Denmark. And I'm going to take Eriksen's situation out of this because what happened was bad. And we know that it was, and we know that they've been running on adrenaline, and respect to them all for that. And we do know the game shouldn't have gone ahead that same night against Finland. But Kane has always got a habit of scoring against Kasper in the league. He did in the last day of the season, which cost us the Champions League place, and then him got a manager. I'm hoping he carries it on again. I love you, Kasper, but I do hope Kane gets a hat-trick against you.
I think that needs to be clipped now as well, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
All right,
definitely.
I'm having you on again.
But yeah, I completely agree. Honestly, though, I don't mind Kasper as a player, if you want me to be honest. Probably more because of Peter Schmeichel and everything. But but I quite like Kasper as well. I feel like Harry Kane will bag a goal. He's got his confidence back, hasn't he? Getting them 2 goals against Ukraine, getting the goal against Germany. I feel like maybe in the group stages, maybe he might have had something going on behind stage with obviously all this business about where is Harry Kane's future going to be, and you got hearing the rumours City's bid 100 million, and maybe all that could have been playing on his mind, and now that's definitely died down. It feels like he's back to himself. He's there bagging the goals, ready. But for me though, Harry Kane, he just drops a bit too deep for my liking. At times you think, oh, is he a centre back? Is he a defensive midfielder? Why is he dropping so deep? But for me, he really needs to be told, don't drop so deep. Be near the box, ready for when we counter-attack. That's, for me, my only criticism I will have of Harry Kane. But overall, he's just an amazing striker, and I can't see him not scoring against Denmark, in my opinion.
Jordan Sancho, of course, he played the night. As soon as he was signed for Man United, Southgate picked him. Not that I'm trying to be a conspiracy theorist at all here, but if it does go to penalties, Andrew made a good point earlier, and I've saved it till now. But Casper is damn good at penalties.
Mhm.
Yeah, he is. It is, and that's a worry. You know, we've got the sort of monkey off our back with everything that happened in terms of penalty shootouts, but it doesn't change anything. You know, when it's a 50-50 game, you're sort of stuck. But Casper and his record in penalties speaks for itself. You know, his dad was the same. I'm sure Maisie can, say much about that. It's England need to follow on like they did in the Ukraine game.
You've scared. You said that. You see, and she's gone. Oh, she's back. Let's bring her back in. We were actually praising Peter Schmeichel. Then there was no. You didn't have to go.
Don't know.
She was off clipping it. She was off clipping it for you, Dan.
I was clipping it ready for like when we do that bit of Nick Pope slander. Rich is saying here Sven was awful, but you know what? And when you look at the record, and like I say, nobody's going to beat Sam Allardyce's 100%. He actually had a 59.7% win record. He got us to 3 quarterfinals on the trot. The 2002 and 2006 World Cups and the Euros in 2004. So he actually wasn't our worst manager. But then again, Capello had a 66% win rate, but I think that was when they started to make these groups so easier. But, Maisie, do you think Southgate should be using the young players more, or is he doing it right the way? Because look at the results. Mm-hmm. For me, it's not about how many young players should be on the pitch. It should be about what is best for the team, what makes the team the most balanced. Because if you're looking at, let's put all the best players on this season, you'd be playing Foden every game, really, wouldn't you, realistically? Yeah. You'd be playing Mount every game. You'd be playing Grealish every game. But for me, Sterling has to be a starter for me, and he can play on the left. Foden, he would either play as an attacking midfielder or on the left. He doesn't go well on the right, and the group stage has really shown he can't play on the right. He's terrible on the right. So
I'll tell you who else as well, Maisie. Reece and Phillips together.
Oh, I love them both together.
Wow. Wow.
I really like them both together. I did my best lineup before the Euro started, and I put Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice as 2 holding midfielders, and people said, "Why are you doing this? Are you daft? You be putting Bellingham there. You'd be putting Ward-Prowse on there if someone got injured." And you think, well, why can't Calvin Phillips be there? Because he's a Leeds player. I'm not going to, obviously not praise someone because he plays for a rival club of mine. If I think someone's good, I'll come out and say, yeah, he's a good player. And I really like Calvin Phillips. In playing for Leeds, he's got that bit of attacking momentum, which you've noticed in the games, especially Croatia, when he got that assist. He's good at going forward, and him and Declan Rice, I've got to say, one of the best partnerships for me right now in the England squad. I really like them both together, and I actually hope they don't get dropped at all, because they should be playing in the World Cup together as partnership. He's got that one right anyway, Gareth Southgate, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Definitely. Yeah. And you look at our squad, Dan. It's so young, and if we can hold them, I'm not going to say golden generation, because it's it comes back and bites you on the bum. We've been there before, but and I'm not going to say golden showers either. But when you look at the three, the 3 players I'm going to mention now, do yellow cards? Rice, Phillips, and Maguire all on a yellow card. And up till this point, if they get a yellow card, they would miss the next game. But I don't think it happens for the final, does it? Do you know, or Maisie, do either of you know at all?
I'm sure that yellow card, it does get scrapped for the semi-finals from what I read. So all the yellow cards will be scrapped now, which is a good thing. But I've got to give praise to all 3 of the players. Knowing that there was on a yellow card, they knew they had to be more cautious, and they was. They made the right tackles at the right times. They wasn't silly. They wasn't clumsy. They just done the best and played well.
Yeah. Talking to golden showers, Melina, good afternoon. How are you? Should be working over there in Canada, but nice for you to join us. Scott is saying, Chris, since Gareth Southgate has been in charge, I think he's done well in what he's achieved with England. However, in both games, he's been in charge of England manager for Nations League. Denmark has won one and drew one. Have we I didn't know we'd played Denmark in the Nation League, Scott. So I'll take it back. Facebook user, don't know who you are, but hello, welcome. And Michael Gamble, hello and welcome along. Thanks for joining us as well. I'm going to come on to a controversial point, but we will. It's David Gamble. Hello, David. So, I just presumed Michael there for some reason. Don't ask me why. We're going to come on to the last game now, and then I'm going to come back to a really controversial point. But Maisie, let me just see if I can bring it up here. Denmark 9-1 to win this, so really, really big outsiders. They're everybody's neutral's choice to win the tournament, aren't they?
Yeah, I think everyone does have that little bit as a soft spot for Denmark, don't they? They've played with absolute passion every single game. They've honestly been so enjoyable to watch. You can tell with some international clubs, some just want to win, but some have just got that heart and passion into every single game, and that's what Denmark is. And I think the whole world has honestly fell in love with Denmark, to be honest.
Yes. Would you agree with that, Dan?
Yeah, 100%. As you say, them results there speak for themselves. They're not holding back, are they? I mean,
no.
Four against Russia. They nearly held Belgium.
Yeah.
They absolutely wiped the floor with Wales, which is easy enough to do anyway.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, you know, like I said, they beat the Czechs. That were an interesting game. It was just. As you say, they've snuck in, haven't they? They've sort of snuck in on the back of everything that's happened.
Yes. And the one game that they've lost, they really shouldn't have even played. We know that, don't we? You know.
Yeah.
Yes, and then to say it again, Denmark 4, Wales 0.
Yeah. I'll tell you what is strange though. The fact that Denmark-Finland game, to be fair, everyone's saying, you know, whoever's got it in sweepstake at work or all that, can I have my money back? Because when things happen to Christian Eriksen, he is a massive, massive key player who sort of is like the Jordan Henderson of our team in a way, that's sort of there, you know, for that level head. You know, maybe he's sort of noir in the dressing room.
Yeah,
it's so to lose a player like that so early on in the tournament. And for them to have that belief and spirit to still crack on and get where they have, then you know what? Fair play to them. At least if we get beat by them, you know, we got beat by a team that had the heart and desire to go on in this tournament. So fair play to them. Fair play.
And no disrespect, Maisie, but I read somewhere that in fact Denmark have probably played better, and all respect to him, without Eriksen.
Yeah, I'd have said so.
Yeah,
would you agree with that, Maisie?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Although Eriksen is a really key player, and they lost him in the squad in the most horrible situation possible. They have played out, apart from obviously Belgium. They played outstandingly, to be honest.
Yes.
They shouldn't have really lost against Belgium, because they was honestly so good that first half, and you just got Belgium in that second half. And for me, they was overall the better squad, Denmark, in my opinion. Yeah, I'd say they probably do play better without Eriksen, and maybe once he comes back, Eriksen, if he does come back, maybe it could help strengthen the squad a little bit, and it could go on to do much better things in the World Cup.
I'm going to go, believe it or not, England. Maisie, are you going for an England win?
England.
Oh God, she's singing. No, please, no.
Oh, come on! I've got my Jester hat on already with me England. My Jester hat already.
She one of the Spice Girls. You got a bit of look of Victoria Spice there in your picture, Maisie.
Oh, that's just complimenting me. That's made my day. I'm blushing.
I wasn't meant to.
Oh, Christ, we've got a full panel then, haven't we? We've got a full panel. You're Victoria, you're obviously posh Spice. I've clearly got to be ginger Spice. And then you've got Chris who's walking around smelling of Old Spice.
Yeah. No, I can mute you, you know. I can mute you. That is well. Let me come to you then. Now you've insulted me. You went for Spain last time. Are you going for an upset this time? But it would upset me if you went for Denmark.
Yeah, I can't. I think eventually the bubble's got to burst for Denmark, and you're coming up against an England side who's literally just popped forward. Could we go into that game a bit more like, oh, well, we've got it in the bag, we know what we can do, and be a bit more lackadaisical? And we don't want that. We need to be on the ball, really know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that at the end of the game, we sort of, we're not celebrating. We're not absolutely lapping it up like that's it. We've got as far as we could go. We're doing that sort of mantra of taking it a game at a time. And it's working, full-time whistle goes and it's a case of the shaking hands. Yeah, okay, nice one, we're through to semis. And as I say, going back to what Gareth Southgate said, he don't want to be the party pooper, but he has to be. We've not won anything yet.
Yes, yeah. All I can only just say this to you, Dan, in response. Unbelievable, Jeff. It so was. Now, very quick, one-word answers. Can we win the whole thing, Maisie?
Yes.
Yes. Dan?
That
was a bit high. Be careful how you start, mate. But, right, I've got one big question for you all, and both of you, and I'm going to ask it you straight after this. Be back after this.
Hi, Alan Smith here. Be sure to watch and listen to Chris on Leicester Till I Die TV. You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels. Up the Foxes!
Thanks, Alan, and we'll see you hopefully next week if we can get it arranged and have a one-to-one. Booing the national anthem. England booed the England fans booed the German national anthem. Now, I'm older than you. I'm probably older than you two put together, to be honest with you. And it probably wasn't something that, we know what football used to be like. I mean, I started watching football in the 70s, 80s, and, with all the hooliganism and everything that went on then. But it was almost standard at those games that you boo the opposition national anthem. But they've kind of gone overboard, I think, but maybe it's my age. This time, it said they shouldn't be booing the national anthem. And I know there was a thing about them stopping a song that was going to be sung at the England-Germany game. But is it, are we becoming too woke? Are we reading too much into this, Dan?
I think it's getting silly now. I think they'll have everybody sat down pretending to be Southampton fans soon and just bit prawn sandwich brigade. It's getting ridiculous. Fans in football, and I'm not just speaking on behalf of male population to female population. Every football fan, no matter what gender or sexual orientation you are there to support your team, nationally or club level. And no matter what, when it comes to a match day, you have that bit of banter with them. Yes. So they're going to boo a player because he's fouled him 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Is that then going to be seen as discrimination in the future that you can't boo at him? I think when it comes to national anthems, it can be a bit different. I think it's a case of, are we supposed to show a sign of respect? But at the end of the day, it's England against Germany. There's history. They rivals. I'm not going to go, yay, if Blackburn put ball in there, am I? It's it is getting a bit silly now that everything's going a bit too PC.
I just saw it on GMB the next morning, and I'm just kind of thinking, like I say, I can remember if it was Romania, if it was Argentina. I mean, there's some teams obviously we do have that bigger rivalry with, but you know, even the San Marinos, if it was a national anthem, England. I'm not saying it was right, but it was what was happening. It's banter, but we're coming to the end of banter as far as I can see it. And Maisie, talking about Prawn Sandwich Brigade, we'll come to you now. You're the you're the youngest here. How did you see it?
To be honest, I kind of seen it as a banter as well. When you're a football fan, you just want to express yourself, have a bit of a laugh, have a drink with your friends. When you're watching the opposition foul your play, you want to be like, why have you done this? You want to express yourself in all different ways, and doing that little bit of a boo to Germany, it just shows how big the rivalry is, and you just want just have that little bit of a banter, because football, it's not all serious, and I don't like football becoming so serious these days. I just like the old-fashioned football. Get the game on. I hate the tackles. Be harsh with the tackles if you want to be harsh. I don't like soft tackles. That's just making football horrible as well. You're getting red cards for soft tackles. That annoys me as well. A lot of things these days in football is just getting destroyed, and sometimes it can take the passion away, but it's always going to be in your heart, football. And when you're getting stuff where people are upset because you're getting the national anthem booed, maybe some people might find it a bit disrespectful, but as a football fan, it's just all a little bit of a banter, and no harm is intended in none of it.
I mean, the funny thing is, and Scott, that wasn't funny, by the way. Remember, I can unmod you, so don't get too clever. I'm not so far off that. I've got to be careful what I say. But the funny thing was that comment about it being disrespectful, etc., actually didn't come, as I say, on a football show. But I can remember when we were in the FA Cup final, Leicester were playing Chelsea. It was one of the first games where fans were allowed back in any number. And Ben Chilwell was just booed sort of every time he went near the ball by Leicester fans. And the football commentator, who obviously, was said, it's great even to hear the booing back in the ground. It was just great to hear that, you know. But
it is. Yeah. It's what's needed. It's what's needed because controversy in football has gone out the window. VAR has killed controversy. There used to be uproar in its masses in football. If somebody scored a goal that you knew was offside by at least a yard or two, you'd speak about it in the pub afterwards. You'd have your mate sat in a corner sulking. But then 2 or 3 parts later, he's up and dancing on table and you're having a laugh about it.
Yes.
The thing is now, you're sat around after a goal, watching screen or wondering what's happening. Has it gone in? What's referee going to do?
Mm-hmm.
It's... and I'm not going to get into VAR because that's just one problem.
We've got a separate show coming up about that in a few weeks, ref or VAR. So that could get interesting.
That would be very interesting.
Yes. Well, you're welcome to both come back on that. I don't know which side of the fence you sat on.
I'd love to.
Well, there you go. You that's done then. You're on. Thank you. But I didn't know if you noticed. I think it was the Spain. Well, it was one of the penalty games, and it went down to the last penalty, and the goalkeeper saved it, and the team wanted to celebrate, and the actual referee held the team back because we were waiting for the decision. I
feel like it was Switzerland versus France. I think
it could have been. I think it was that one. Yes, Maisie. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I'm having a bit of a Dan moment there. Bit of a burp, We don't call it doing a burp. We call it having a Dan. Maisie, you said before about expressing yourself, which leads me very nicely on, because you did try doing your Spice Girls singing impersonation. That if you go back to the a week or so ago, there was 4 of us. We picked our best ever England team, and you can hear me. I think it was me, Craig, and Daniel doing the England rap from the to the John Barnes England rap. I tried to do it as a separate video, but YouTube told me I couldn't put it up. So there we go. But let me put it this way: I'm not giving the day job up. Look, guys, so that's it. Then it's going to be an Italy-England final. We're not going to look any further ahead than that at this stage. But God, I hope we're right, don't you?
I really do hope so much. Like, I just honestly feel like at this point, knowing how good England has been, I feel like I'll be more emotional than the Europa League final if we lose against Denmark.
Oh, well, at least if it goes to penalties, we know we haven't got a goalkeeper that's going to miss.
Well, Pickford can do a penalty shootout, can't he? So at least I feel a little bit better.
Sorry, I couldn't resist that. I couldn't resist De Gea.
You've done it 3 times.
Yeah, we just don't want penalties. We've come this far without penalties, guys. Let's fingers crossed we don't get penalties. Maisie, first of all, thank you so much for coming on. We'll see you again for the ref versus VAR. But just give a shout out for your Twitter again.
It's at __ MUSC Mais.
Remember the 2 underscores. I think that's where I went wrong. I only underscored once, and you know that you're going to underscore, do it twice and enjoy it. Dan, give a shout out to your channels and your new artwork and logo, etc.
Yeah, so we've sort of rebranded so it stands out a little bit more, and yeah, we're all at Turf-Moore House, and that's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and now Spotify.
And was the Moore House, was that named after the pub?
No, it's my last name.
I know. that actually explains a lot, doesn't it, Maisie?
It does sound like a banging pub, to be honest, if that was a name.
It is. There's a brewery. There's a brewery nearby called Moore House's Brewery. But I've not looked into the history to see whether I'm entitled to any sort of shares. So I do need to look at that.
Yeah,
Bugger the shares, just get free beer, mate. Come on.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Christ, I'd even take a free beer, Matt.
Maisie, Dan, it's been great. Thanks for coming on. It's been a laugh. Fingers crossed. Get the welcome mat out. It might just be coming home.
It is coming home.
It's coming home.
Oh,
it's coming home.
I'll take you both off now. Actually, I've got to be careful what I say, because that rap was bloody awful, because none of us were in tune and none of us were in time either. It was like doing it in the round.
How could you not be in time for that rap, Chris? You've got to hold and give and do it at the right time.
Let's not go there. If you want to hold and give and do it at the right time, mate, do it on your own channel. Guys, on that note, thanks very much. See you both soon. It's been great to have you on. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, thanks to Dan, thanks to Maisie. Great laughs there, even though they're Northerners. We'll let them off that. Oh, don't forget, next week, we're back tomorrow, and we are going to be having a McClintock versus Taylor fight-off. We had one recently with another couple of managers. We're going to have with Claudio Ranieri, of course, and Brendan Rodgers as to who was the best. This one, 7:15 tomorrow, because the football's on at 8. It is Frank McClintock versus Peter Taylor. Who was the worst manager? Sean Dyche. So let us, we'll see you at 7. Of course, next week, don't forget, Alan Smith should be joining us. Looking forward to that. Take care, guys. Fingers crossed. See you tomorrow, 7:15. Take care.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye, and see you next time.
come to an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share and get involved. Join us next time